All right. Thanks for tuning in. It is the Double RT Boxing Show, Mr.A. No announcement, straight new time from the ground up. We coming in at 6 a.m. Starting off a trifecta. It's early. We were doing that UK, but with work and life, I had a hard time making that. But this show I can make consistently, and this is going to be your consistent time, the 6 a.m. trifecta start. I'm just your host, Mr.A. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to do a nice recap this morning of what has gone down over the weekend. And hey, how you doing there? Thank you for tuning in, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. We're doing a quick recap. Like I said, for those who are going to watch this on the rewind, Mr.A, the Double RT Boxing Show, you follow not just the mainstream, we talk about the rankings 2 to 15. So that way, we always talking about the best fighting the best. But when someone else gets that shot, they're considered a bum or who the hell is this guy? Right here on the Double RT Boxing Show, we will find out because I just started the show about a year and a half ago. I'm a fan just like you. So I figure as a fan, we need to know the other fighters. So that way, if we could raise our voice as a fan and give more value into number 7, then we could start making these top-notch guys fight more often. If they're always going to use money, it's a business. But fuck it. If the fans start knowing who the hell number 7 and number 9 is, if we can make those guys seem interested, these guys will fight more, and then everyone will get money, and they can't just always use it's a business against us fans. So the more we know, and we can say, fuck, there's other fights out there, it's a win-win, hopefully win-win situation. Well, anyway, and if you're like boxing, that's what this show is about. You get to learn other rankings. I try and cover as many rankings as possible. Boxing around the world, non-biased shit. But now, as you tune in, you will start to learn more and more what the show is about. But right now, this is episode 9, second episode live. Going over the weekend recap. I'm going to take it a little further back to Thursday because I didn't cover it. It was about the rooster, the Nico something guy, taking on Soto Carras. I was glad to see that Nico got his loss because the guy throws numerous volume of punches, but they're just arm slappy. And I was glad to see that style Soto Carras was able to crack, even though he just stood on the ropes and did it himself. That style's interesting, but I don't want him getting as a fan, it sucks to see him get so much attention and credit when you got some badass boxers who's breaking their balls and not getting the fame like this motherfucker is doing, even though he's over there throwing thousands of punches and entertaining the fans. It sucks when you got a yo, Mr.A. How you doing there, Mr. Morgan? How you doing there? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the Double RT Boxing Show, the first 6 a.m. show, the first of many. Thank you. So from that Thursday fight, we move over onto this weekend's fights. You could say the biggest cards of November 10th weekend was the Tony Bellew versus Alexander Usyk, the first undisputed title defense. And then the second, you had the final quarter rounds of the Cruiserweight 2 and the WBSS. We'll start off with a quick overview of the Cruiserweight 2. Going into the card, I was more intrigued about what Golovkin had than the Breedis and what's his last name? Mahallahan? Grover, as Boxrex have him. Me, myself, as the research, like I said, the show started a year and a half ago. And the research I'd done on Breedis, And starting from Cruiserweight 1 tournament, Perez, Usyk, and then his follow-up fight, it just seemed Breedis wasn't moving forward with me. It seemed like he was just stuck in the mud. His fighting style was flash, as they say, what's it say? All sizzle, no steak. It just didn't seem right to me. Like he wasn't seem like he was doing the damage. So I thought Noel would do a really good job because I thought in doing the research, he's a better puncher down the middle, and I thought that'd do him a justice, but losing a close call. I didn't think Noel was gonna. I had Noel beating him 9 rounds to maybe 3. That's being generous. But Breedis did get the win, and there's obviously people say that's a big, big upset. So in this tournament so far, we had the overall WBSS season 2. We had that was a what the fuck moment. A holy shit moment is when Inui just rocked Carlos Baiano with a 1 punch. I was like, what the fuck? We had Tabiti and kind of a hold fest, disappointment, a robbery. So the WBS is showing. Gotta say, these United States crowds though on these cards are looking pretty low. They're looking low. Now, also the Glowacki and the Vaskov, I was intrigued because Glowacki only lost to Usyk, and he came out of nowhere and beat Huck. So we really didn't get a chance to see who the hell he was. He won it against Huck in a dramatic fashion, won title defense, went against Usyk, and then lost it. And then after that, the only thing we knew was he got dropped. He got dropped pretty bad in that 8-rounder too. His legs were all fucking rubbery. So that Radchenko, when I think it was Radchenko, when he dropped him, that was a shockingly 8-round first round drop. So okay, what is Glowacki? And he came out, and while Velasquez was trying to do the movement and throw volume of punches, Glowacki came out with more intent. You could see he blinds him with the right, throws the left, whether it's a straight or a hook to the body, throws with mean intentions. And with him winning and prevailing on, it's going to be a hard matchup for Breedis. From what I've been saying and what I just previously said about Breedis, I think degenerating, I think he's lucky Noel didn't have the power that Glowacki's going to have. Because Glowacki's not going to fight as a strategy and try and tame as Noel. I think Glowacki's going to go at Breedis with more power. Maybe an aggressive style might help Breedis and not one who could pick him off. But as of right now, I got Glowacki beating Breedis, hitting him with some hard shots. I think people are going to be kind of surprised at that fight. I think it might see Breedis show a little more slowed down in this one. Then obviously we move on to Tony Bellew and Usyk. Man, it started off good. Tony Bellew sold the hell out of that fight. Usyk, that's a good talk right there. You think Usyk is bullied by a heavyweight, the big guys. Now, Parker would be against. This is what I feel. The way he beat Tony Bellew. Now, when you say he gets beat by the big guys, do you think the power is too much and they knock him out, or he just can't box with the big guys? I think that's the ultimate question, because a lot of people are saying he gets tore up by top 5 heavyweights. Joshua White, Dylan, physically bullied. They could just maul him around, hold him, push him around. Now that physically bullied, that is why I think Dillian White can beat Alexander Usyk. Not for the fact that he's a better boxer or anything. Because I thought what you need to beat Usyk, I thought Bellew had it. To just come at him, don't wait for him, punch in between him, punch him in the body, take the fight to him, just maul him, be dirty. Like I said, even though I had Bellew winning that fight, he was aggressive, but in a way he was back foot aggressive, waiting for Usyk. I thought if he would have grabbed him more, took the fight to him, maybe he wouldn't have tired out. And I think Dillian Whyte would do that. I don't think Dillian Whyte will be waiting for Usyk to get him. I think Dillian Whyte will go towards him. Plus, there's weight 17, 18 stone. Usyk surely can't put that much weight on. I think if Usyk was to compete at heavyweight, cruiserweight is what, 200, right? 200. I think he'd be a 216. I think he'd be almost like a Deontay Wilder. 216, 222, somewhere in there. I don't see him getting more heavy than like 225. No, and I think, well, what's stones? See, I don't know. Plus their weight, 17, 18 stones. I don't know how that is. Oh, confusing you, confusing me, brother. Well, I would say, I think 1 pound is what, 14 stones. So I think he'd be about, yeah, I think he could only put on about 14 stones, maybe. No, 1 pound. I don't know. But yeah, that'd be kind. You could check that out. But that's a good question. Like I said, I honestly think he can hang with the heavyweights. Now, the bullying and mauling him and dragging him around the ring, it's possible. It's very possible. We seen some people get tired out and drag out fights. 100 pounds equals 7.1 stones in weight. But shit. There you go. Fuck. So 14 stones is 200. Yeah, so he'd be a little over. He'd probably be like, what, 16? Maybe 16. 14.8. He won't be too heavy. Him and Deontay Wilder, I think it'd be the same. Whatever stones Deontay Wilder is, I think Usyk could be just around the same amount of stones. And I think he could box with the big people. I think he can. And I don't think they're gonna maul him as people say it's like just grab him and maul him. Because if that was the case, well, he's a smaller guy. They could try, but it's like, well, why don't they just maul fucking Deontay Wilder? But he is 6 foot, but he's skinny and light with that fucking hammer. It's an interesting thing. It's a very interesting topic. Can Alexander Usyk hang with him? Because I think he could box with. I think he upset quite a few big men, but the Dillian Whyte, that whole thing with boxing scene with Dillian Whyte got me thinking a lot. Like, he has the exact style that needs to be. You need to have to beat the Lomachenko and the Usyk to come forward, be aggressive style, and take the fight to him. Now, speaking of Alexander Usyk, we're gonna talk a little bit about how it's weird how he was about to get a title shot. Like he said, right now he wants to wait to get his title shot. And it seems the WBO did not want to give him a title shot. And now, if I'm mistaken, Eddie Hearn and AJ are trying to fight their WBO mandatory this April. But like I said, at the press conference for Usyk's undisputed, I could have sworn they said if he was to go up, there would not be a spot until the WBOs next year. But I don't get though, if he's being undisputed, Usyk, he should have that AJ fight whenever the fuck he wants. If he just goes up cashing those belts, there's no stopping him from fighting AJ whenever the hell he wants. He should be able to just step in front of anybody, you know. If not step in front of one, fight the number one consistent just like that. But I don't think he's going to be I think he's gonna do what like Lomachenko did when Lomachenko went up. He got his body accumulated to the weight. He probably take like a couple fights, and then about the third. Not necessarily. He doesn't really have to earn that AJ fight, because if you follow the WBO history belts, they are very good at letting the lower division champion cash it in to fight the next champion. They did it with Lomachenko when he moved up in weight. They did it with Crawford versus Horn. Once Crawford cashed in his belt, he got the title shot right away against Horn. So that's why I thought Usyk was next fight was going to be that April 14th or 13th versus AJ. I didn't think he was going to fight Bellew. I thought he won the cruiserweight I thought he won the undisputed, and I thought that's enough time between winning that and cashing it in training camp for April. I thought, because I think he's big enough for Joshua. Like I said, and I don't think heavyweights are gonna grab him and maul him as easy as it sounds. And I honestly, I think it's a styles make fights. I think he gives trouble to AJ and Deontay, but I think the likes of Dylan White, perhaps a Gerald Miller, I think those types could beat a Usyk. Whereas I think he could outbox AJ. I think he could outbox Deontay Wilder. I give Deontay Wilder a better chance than AJ because I think Deontay Wilder has a faster feet and more, I think he has the feet to keep up with Usyk. Going up to heavyweight division is a big deal as there is no limit to the weight. There is no limit. That could always fuck with anyone. I think that might be a big fight with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder is probably going to be in there about his heaviest. I think the heaviest he ever was like 240. But I think he's probably going to come in this fight about 230 maybe. He looked like he's trying to get a little bigger. Tyson Fury's going to have weight on him. He's going to have lots of weight on him, no matter how much weight Wilder puts on. Fury's probably going to be in his, 50s, 60s, he said. So Fury should have like 25 pounds on Deontay Wilder. And like I said, I think Usyk, if he moves up to heavyweight, should be about a 215, 225 guy. And his boxing skills, outbox, yes, but it's the power. I think he can. I think he could cope with that. I think it's just like it's like Crawford moving up. Like everyone's, just naturally believe like, oh, 147, yeah, why not? Why not? You gotta remember, Crawford started at a lower weight class, 135? 135, and now he's at 147. Everyone just assumed he can do it because he seemed so good. You don't know how he could deal with that power. And Usyk was an Olympic heavyweight, so it's he had the weight on him before. He's been hit by these heavy punches before. With headgear, yes, but I think people are writing him off a little too easy. Like I said, I think it's the maulier heavyweights that could beat him. Is it possible AJ and Wilder can do it? Yes, but I think they have a harder time than Miller and White. Like I said, and I favor Wilder a little more, just because I think he has faster feet to mess with the footsteps of Usyk. AJ, I feel, has the power, but I don't know if he'll be able to have the footwork to fuck with Usyk. Yes, he was a heavyweight. His amateur. Yeah, like I said, like he knows how to. He knows that weight will not be a problem with him. Fucking around with fighting at that weight won't be a problem with him. Like I said, he won't be the heaviest heavyweight, but putting on that weight will be no problem with him. See, and you got to remember, for him to lose this weight probably took away some of his strength, you know. And like I said, and maybe he's choosing not to throw as hard for the fight this time. Maybe at heavyweight he won't be able to move as much, so he hit harder. But I think he's gonna choose to still fight as much. 15, yeah. See, not that heavy. That's what 220, 220. That's just, you gotta remember that's a nice heavyweight weight, man. 220. You figure a good heavyweight is probably 240, 235, and nowadays a nice shapely heavyweight. Anything above that is like a Tyson Fury, a 7-footer, big as fuck dude. Right now, I think nowadays with people working out and the medicine and all the shakes and shit, 230 is a good heavyweight. You're not seeing too many 240s. You're not seeing that shit. You know, you got big people like Luis Ortiz, you know, but anyone else is, yeah, 220, 240. Yeah, anything else is, you're not seeing bigger than that. And then another thing I would like to talk about is, speaking of Deontay Wilder and heavyweights, is Deontay Wilder pay-per-view with Tyson Fury. Was he a heavyweight? He was a heavyweight at the Olympics, because I think Joshua, one of them, won the super heavyweight, and he was a heavyweight. But I think it's just easier to kick ass as a cruiserweight, just to make his name. You know, it's lose the weight, make the money, get known, start a career, and then go to heavyweight. I think that's just how his team wanted to handle him. Because I think like his first 1 or 2 fights maybe were heavyweight professional. I'm not too sure. But I think he had a few of them. But it's the same thing. Like I said, Crawford, puppy fat probably. Fucking Crawford, he could have came right in at 140, but his manager Bo Mack was like, no, just lose this little bit of weight, stay here, whoop everyone's ass for a little bit, make a career, and then when you really can't make weight or have hard, go up. Because they said Crawford was supposed to come in straight at 140, but they just, Bo Mack's on out, let's just lose the weight. Probably the same thing with Usyk, just make a better career, start one, and 16-0 now, something like that. Moving pretty good. And I know everyone's saying it gets where is he pound for pound? Is he not pound for pound? And how do you rate him? Whatever you're gonna rate him, the dude is good. The motherfucker is good. You know, is he the best you ever seen? Is he up there? You know, historical facts. He got a lot of historical facts going on for him. You know, I don't know what you want to say, good, bad, negative, great guy, but the positive facts he has, he's undisputed. He's a talented son of a nun, yes sir. He's an undisputed champion. He defended it, which is something I really, really wanted Crawford to do. As good as it was that Crawford got it, he never defended it. It would have been great to see Crawford defend that title at least once, twice. Fight Lipinets, man. You know, whoop his ass. Fight, you know, the fact that Lipinets is right in front of him, Crawford could have just been picking him off, looking like a great undisputed champion. And Usyk did that. He defended his champion not only against anybody, he defended it against basically a Tyson Fury of the cruiserweight. Tony Bellew never lost his belt in the ring. You know, he went up to make a money fight in heavyweights, so the WBC kind of stripped him. And that's how Murray Breedis got his belt. That was the WBC stripped belt of Tony Bellew. So Usyk got all his belts from champions, not a vacant fight. So that was, he did correct. He had that fight. I had the fight 5-2. I had it 5-2 Bellew. I thought he was doing a great job at being first on Usyk. And when Usyk was coming in, Tony Bellew was, whether he was catching him early or catching him on the way out, he was hitting him to the body with some good hooks. And I think those hooks were like paying major dividends. Dude, my PlayStation just turned on automatic and just kicked my game out. What the hell? I thought the body shots was doing real good, slowing Usyk down. The fact that Usyk, that was a good. He go hard was great. I just thought he'll be the one going hard, like taking it to Usyk. Like I said, Usyk was coming at him, and Tony was picking him off good. I just really thought he'll walk towards Usyk. Where the fight to me was really telling, like I said, was when he was able to finally do that foot movement that Lomachenko does, where they step out over to their right, over to your left shoulder, and they throw that fucking left hand. So you're turned away, you can't see, and you just get cracked. Once, I think like in the third or fourth round, once Usyk finally did that move on Tony, and he had Tony kind of run with his back towards him, he's like, okay. Tony laughed, acknowledged him, like, oh shit, your footwork tricked me. You had me good, you had me defenseless. And once that little acknowledgement happened, Tony Bellew was basically defeated. Usyk was able to do that foot move, that foot jump around anytime he wanted the whole fight. Didn't think. Now, he went hard enough. If you used to watch that fight again, he was going hard. He was hitting him in the body. But most people knew if he didn't end it early, Usyk would come on strong. That's the only thing. Usyk is a good fighter who does it. Who else do you could say? People come on strong against Usyk, and you're kind of like, oh shit, didn't they end up losing? Lomachenko, they do it. Deontay Wilder, you come on strong against him, then all of a sudden you get knocked the fuck out. AJ, you go on strong against him. Terrence Crawford, you end up, you look good, and then that's what the greats, at least, if you want to say, if you have an argument saying who's great, that's what the elites do. The elites make you look good the first couple rounds, figure you out, and then shut shit down. Like I said, Crawford, Wilder, AJ, Spence. He should have routed him after catching him in the third round. I think it was it. Yeah, he cracked him. He kept like that right hand kept like grazing like the top of his forehead, the side of his cheek. He never really cracked Usyk with it. But he was hitting him good, stunning him, the body shotting him. I said, once Usyk mastered that step around and just throwing that blind left hook and just cracking him, it was done. That it was too many left hands, and finally the seventh round he ate a lot, and in the eighth he ate like three of them in a row, and then just that left straight, it was done. Now, the heavyweight picture, with Usyk making the not shocking, but the big noise coming up, and there's not really much of November. There's like a few in between rankings fights. Like I said, what the RRT boxing show is, we talk about number 13 of the cruiserweights. We'll talk about number 7 of the bantamweights, number 13 of the welterweights. We'll talk about those guys. So there's a few rankings fight moved in there to finish off November. So really, December's going to be looking good for us. We're going to finish strong. and just fully announced was the Deontay Wilder undercard. So the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder undercard. It's not what a lot of people thought it was. And I knew once there was that rumor going around, it had like Mares and Tank and Russell and Santa Cruz. There's no way that undercard was going to happen, because if people want to, well, if they want to make Deontay Wilder a star, because basically it shouldn't have to be about the numbers sold in this pay-per-view, but unfortunately that's what's going to be. That stacked of an undercard, Deontay Wilder wouldn't have got credit for those pay-per-views. This is Deontay Wilder's pay-per-view. See, that's interesting. People that you say he school him, cause I think it is a bigger upset if Deontay Wilder wins this fight. Even though I want Deontay Wilder to win, I see it being an easier matchup for Tyson Fury. But I want Deontay Wilder to win. It's an upset if he wins, if the champ wins. Because back in 2015, when Klitschko was getting ready to fight Tyson Fury, I always thought Tyson Fury could beat AJ, could beat Wilder. I just thought he was I thought Fury was just too good. But basically what he did against Klitschko, I thought he could do against Wilder and Fury and AJ. Now, watching him, like I said, I don't know if I just grew more and more fanboyish with Deontay Wilder, or did he improve since 2015? He got it, And the reason why I'm picking Deontay Wilder to beat Fury, because we know Wilder needs to win by knockout. That's what we're thinking. And I think he just has the feet work. I think as Fury is a big, agile big man, he moves around, dances around people all night, flicks that jab. Wilder has faster, athletic feet to get to him, while the traditional big man boxer, technical boxing movement, couldn't catch Fury. Where I think Wilder and his unethical boxing feet is fast enough to get to Fury and just throw Wilder's punches. And I don't think Fury, even though Fury's a big man, I don't think he's going to cold cock Wilder and knock him out. His body, like that. People were saying like, oh, he's taking this fight too soon. He's taking this fight. He's taking, to me, his first fight back, I thought he was the same Fury that fought Vladimir Klitschko. Was he big? Yes. But boxing-wise, he was the same. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. That's much appreciated. One thumbs up for the RRT Boxing Show with your host, Mr.A. The show is on 6 to 7. 2 thumbs up. Appreciate it. You will find it right here, 6 to 7, the RRT Boxing Show. Coming on at 7. You guys can go watch the LDBC's Power Block. It comes on 7 to 9, 7 a.m. with Trill Talk with Black Fight Fan TV and 78 Sports. Follow it on by 9 o'clock, Fan TV. So the RRT Boxing Show right here at 6 a.m. Then the Power Block by the LDBC presents. So like I said, 3 for 3. I appreciate it. As I said, I've been wanting a spot. I've been wanting to do the live show. Couldn't make any other spots, and then I wanted to go on after Fannin, because I figured the LDBC got something going. I want to have a boxing show. Why not fucking have a boxing? Where's your Yanks fans at? I didn't do no announcements, brother. I'm just coming in here straight. I'm coming here straight. See who picks me up just randomly on YouTube. You're in Scotland. I appreciate that. According to my analytics, Ricky Burns country. That dude's still hanging around, brother. Still getting that one, looking at that final payday. I don't know. Hopefully my American Yanks catch on one day, soon. It's a real close race between America and the UK of about my analytics. It's about 30-30, and then I think Philippines and Ghana is my second and third and stuff like that. I did not think I thought Ricky Burns will win. I didn't think he'd do it like that. Who I did think would lose, I didn't think Corolla was going to do that. I thought Dewan Jordan was going to be able to just maul him and power him and beat the body down. I didn't think Corolla would be able to just kind of sidestep him and do what he did against him. That was pretty much. I was surprised at that one. Now back to this Deontay Wilder pay-per-view card. Couldn't be that stacked because if Wilder is to become this star, he needs to be the star. Gary Russell and Santa Cruz is a great fucking fight. Tank and Mars is a great fight. So this way, stacking it with what they did, to me, the oddball fight is Jarrett Hurd and Jason Wellborn. It has that fight. It has Luis Ortiz versus Kaufman. It has, what's the other card on there? It has Luis Ortiz, Kaufman, and Joy Joyce versus somebody. I forgot who Joy Joyce is fighting. Now, I can see what they're doing. They do what was done before, the champion or the main event fight. And then the undercard is people who fight the winner, who fight the champ. So you feel you got Joe Joyce, you got Luis Ortiz, heavyweights. If this card is built on the ideal that Deontay Wilder is going to win in knockout fashion, and he's going to need an incredible and formidable foes. So if Luis Ortiz, Hanks, yes. If Luis Ortiz could win in dramatic fashion, if Joe Joyce could win in some good-ass fashion, the fans are going to say, like, oh, shit, they're heavyweights. Deontay Wilder just fucking knocked out this dude in the dramatic fashion. Those dudes knocked out. They're building up a future opponents that's acceptable for Deontay Wilder. But they all have to win in dramatic fashion. At least the undercard people do. If Deontay Wilder somehow outboxes Fury, fine, whatever. If he wins, fine. But for them to make the fight interesting, Luis Ortiz is going to have to do something nice against Crawford, and Joy Joyce is really going to have to stand out because no one knows at all who the fuck Hanks is. Boxing fans going to know who Kaufman is. Hanks, not so much. Now, I understand the card on that aspect. It's a build-up of possible Wilder opponents, and I'm not mad at it. It would have been nice to see a little better opponents as the B-sides instead of Kaufman and Hanks. Ortiz tried to call out White. We're going to get into that right after this card. We're going to talk about situations like those call-outs as we close the show out. And then also, like I said, on that card is weird is Jarrett Hurd and Jason Wilburn. The fight itself, I'm not mad about. I think it's a good fight. Again, that's what we talk about right here on the RRT Boxing Show with Mr.A. When you watch this on the playback and you're saying, what is this? And you're a new viewer, A lot of folks over here in America do not know who Jarrett Hurd is fighting, doesn't know shit about Jason Wellborn. And like I said, that is the purpose of the Double RT Boxing Show. We talk about the other fighters within the rankings, get them known so they're not bums. So these people at the top who are not fighting each other, we could fucking make a fuss. We're like, hey, stop ducking Jason Wellborn. That motherfucker's a bully. He be going out there. He brings a boot to your ass. Fight him, you know. Don't say there's no one to fight. Why are you trying to just fight number 2 and 3? Go beat number 7 then. Stop being inactive. Number 7's a beast. And that's kind of what Jason Wellborn is, He just got 2 victories over Tommy Langford. First one was an upset, close fight. And then second time, proved this. He's like, fuck, I do it again, and knocked Tommy down 3 times in the 2 fights. And he just brings the fight. Like I said, Jarrett Hurd should win this fight. Jason should be right in front of him. So if they want to test the shoulder out, maybe with a jab, some hooks, he's not going to have to go around moving around, swinging wildly to find Jason. Jason should be right there in front of him. He's going, until he gets knocked out, he's going to swing some good-ass shots at Jarrett Hurd. And if things go normally to a plan, Jarrett Hurd might just be eating some shots for a while, So that should be an interesting, good, entertaining comeback fight until Jason just gets worn down, because he kind of lost energy against Tommy Langford. And if he gets tired out against Tommy Langford, Jarrett Hurd is going to eventually wear down Jason or Wellborn and stop him like he does. It's nothing wrong with that. Now, before we close out this live edition of the Double RT Boxing Show with your host, Mr. A, we're going to talk a little bit about that game, that our childhood favorite that we fucking hate to see in boxing, though, the Duck Duck Goose. Man, we hate it. We hate it. We always talk about it. This fighter is ducking that fighter. The best need to fight the best. This motherfucker's ducking that motherfucker. And more recently, there's been a duck that just got swept under the rug. But no, we're always talking about the duck. Oh, Luis Ortiz ducked Dylan White. Dylan White ducked Luis Ortiz. Fight me on Wilder card. Fight me on the December 22nd. That fight's not making it. Maybe it was all just talk to pump each other up. Who ducked who? We talk about that. Crawford's ducking Spence. Spence is ducking Crawford. AJ's ducking Wilder. Wilder's ducking AJ. We talked about those, and we constantly let it be known. But there's 2 ducks that kind of got swept under the rug. Yes, I love the WBSS, like I said, and it's sad because, a lot of people just aren't familiar with the weight classes. Like I said, I familiarize myself. So there's some weight divisions that I only know about fucking 4 people in. So I'm not going to sit here and just front and say, hey, I know all these divisions. I like boxing and I entertain myself. So I'm learning. Like I said, the Double RT Boxing Show is your show. I'm just the host, Mr. A, so I can say what the fuck I want to say. Mr. A's thoughts, check those editions out. But like I said, it's a good, the best fight the best. The bantamweights, that shit is loaded. The cruiserweights, no one knows who the hell they are in America, and the stadium shows. Go look at those audience. Breedis and Noel and Govaki and Vaskov. You can't really find a camera shot that has a background of the audience. The audience is real low. Like somewhere during the Breedis fight, when he's walking back to the audience, you see someone filming with their iPad or phone, and the camera catches their view. And the view through their phone on the seats is fucking empty. And they pull away real fast. Tell me what you think about that fight, man. No. You know, good thing you came on late because I already talked about it. Check it out. Check it out. And then you can go watch my review, and I give you what I thought on that one. But I think it'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight, man. Like I said, now what we're going to close out to the Duck Goose. Now we know the Charlo brothers have a match coming on the December 22nd card. Remember he was calling out Jared Hurd. I want to fight Jared Hurd. I want to fight Jared Hurd. And Jared Hurd's like, bro, I'm going to go get surgery. I'm going to test my shoulder out. Then I'll fight you sometime in 2019. You know, everyone said that was a duck, that was a duck, that was a duck. But all of a sudden, Lara comes out and he calls out Charlo. Like, hey, since you can't fight Hurd, I'll fight you. Fight me. Fight me. And no one ever talked about it. Charlo didn't come out and respond to it. There was no YouTube videos made about it. Everyone's hiding the Charlo. Oh, Charlo's calling out everybody. Charlo's calling out everybody. Oh, well, Hurd don't want to fight him. Hurd don't want to fight him. Where in the hell was Charlo's response to Lara? He was talking about it before the factor when they still headlined that Showtime triple card and they all were champions. They were talking about, yeah, we'll fight. I'll fight Lara. I'll fight Charlo when it comes time. Once someone beats Hurd, then we'll fight each other. They were talking about it then, but after that, Laura's like, hey, Hurd's hurt. I'll fight you. No response from Charlo. Nothing. For months and months, no one made a video about it. And now it's on Charlo's fighting Harrison, and no one talks about the Lara call out. No one. So that was a duck that just got swept under the rug. But that's not the key one we're talking about here on the Double RT Boxing Show with your host, Mr. A. I've been talking about it. I talked about it on the UK Up in the Kingdom version. You know, I talked about it just on regular segments, and I'm going to keep talking about it because, again, the Double RT Boxing Show with your host, Mr. A. This is what we do. We talk about all divisions, the top 15, you know, letting us know who they are, all the belts, the intercontinentals, the continentals. We try to follow these guys up the ladder so they're not bums. So the elite have more opponents to fight, so we could fucking stop that. It's a business thing, you know. And number 4, you know, he's on number 4 for the WBC. The man I'm talking about is Quadrilo Abdul Kwakarov. You know, fucked up name, I know it. But I've been following him. If you've been watching the show since the beginning of the year and a half ago, I've been making a welterweight videos of the other guys. You know, and I made a top 10. There's a Bradley Skeet on there. There was Karim Langarong. There's a Jeff Horn. Anyway, Quadrilo was on there. You know, Aegis was on there. And people are saying, who the fuck is he? And he was supposed to fight Jesse Vargas for the Errol Spence Eliminator. You know, this is the number 1 spots. And everyone just says, oh, Jesse Vargas ducked Errol Spence. No, he didn't. Fuck that. Fuck that. Let's be honest. Jesse Vargas ducked Quadrilo. You know, everyone's talking about who the fuck is that bum? This was his shot. This was his fucking big moment fight. How can he prove himself if his big moment opponent ducks him? You know, Jesse Vargas is coming off a draw to fucking Broner, a draw to Bonet. And like I said, I got big ups for Quadrilo. I think he's a good fighter. At 15-0, this would have been his 16th fight. So yeah, who has he fought? Who exactly? But he's beat the following the records for the last 2 years and stuff. As a fan, before I started the show, this is what I did. I followed the rankings because I was an Aries Landy Lara fan, and I want to know any possibility top 15 who this guy could fight, because he always fought weird competition, and it turned out to be he always fought the mandatory. He waited and waited and waited. That's why his competition was fucking sometimes weak. He waited and waited. He found the loophole. He always waited and just fought the mandatory. Sometimes it's number 4, sometimes it's number 2, sometimes it's number 10. That's people were just tied up and busy, busy, busy. The mandatory just kept falling and falling and falling. That's how I got into this habit of watching rankings. And then I was watching rankings for Keith Thurman. I like Keith Thurman. I was like, okay, who's a possibility he's gonna fight? And I kept tracking the WBC, and I seen this name, Quadrillo. That's a weird ass name. Let me see who he is just off the back of the name. And I start watching. The guy has some moves. He has some boxing skills. So I followed that name. He ends up becoming the WBC silver champion. If you watch those rankings back in the time, Charles Matanucci was up in the rankings for a long time. He upset Charles, knocked him out in the first round. He defended that title against Demetrius Malachenko. He was in the rankings for a while, back like 2 years ago. So he beat two top 7 ranked guys. 4 for 3. Can we get a 4th thumbs up? 4th thumbs up. Since you just came in the building, you came in the final 10 minutes. The show is almost over. We breaking about in Duck, Duck, Goose. Duck, Duck, Goose. The latest duck, Jesse Vargas, Duck and Quadrillo, Abdul Kakarov, going from the silencer to now known as the Punisher. Like I said, how can he prove he's not a bum? Like I said, you gotta climb the ladders to become to elite. Who, will we have known who Errol Spence was if Floyd Mayweather never opened his mouth? These fighters, who the hell was Sean Porter? Who the hell was Danny Garcia? As a matter of fact, like I said, Quadrillo, he fought 2 people that I know before this fight, but this would have been his big moment at his 16th fight. And just as an example, like, who would you say, who is he? Terrence Crawford's 16th opponent was 11-2, Andre Jorge at his 16th fight. Manny Pacquiao's 16th fight, still over in the Philippines. Errol Spence's 16th fight was Samuel Vargas, 20-1-1. So that's looking like a pretty good 16th fight. Knocking down Amir Khan, fighting Danny Garcia. Sean Porter's 16th fight was Ray Robinson, 11-1 at that time. Danny Garcia's 16th fight, Ashley Theophane, 25-3. Lara's 16th fight, Carlos Molina. Wilder's 16th fight. AJ's 16th fight was Charles Martin becoming champion. So you have a comparison of who was fighting who on that 16th fight. You don't know who the hell Jamar Charlo was fighting some guy. You don't know who he's fighting on the 16th fight. So everyone can say who the hell is Quadrillo. As the casual person, okay, who was he? Jesse Vargas was his big ass opportunity, and Jesse Vargas ducked him. I think he would have beat Jesse Vargas, and he would have had a title shot at Spence, and people would say, "Who the hell is he?" I think he can hang with Spence. It's just he's thin in the waist. That's going to be his downfall. I think he has good movement, good punch selection. He's a little 5'9", scrawny looking thing. Like I said, Spencer, he almost has the body of a thick Ghanaian, and people from Ghana ain't that thick, so not everyone's looking like Dogbo. And I think, like I said, I think he could box Spence for a couple rounds, but I think Spence might break him down. But as a welterweight themselves, who's not going to lose to Spence? So I think Quadrillo, he could beat Jesse Vargas. I think he could beat Danny Garcia. I think he'd upset Danny Garcia with movement. Spence is a great boxing brain and very smart. I think he is too. And I think there's about a level and a half of Spence we have not seen. And so I got him. Actually, I got him knocking out Crawford. That's one fight I do not see going to the scorecards. Maybe because I got a feeling they're gonna fight around the end of 2019, maybe early 2020, and it's a possible to have a third fight. They're definitely gonna have a second fight, but the second fight might go to the scorecards. This first fight, I think Crawford's getting knocked out. He might win the second one by outpointing Spence, but the first one, that's just how I say. I think Spence is gonna just bully him. You know, he's gonna be getting picked off couple 2 rounds. I don't see Errol Spence holding off. I don't think Terrence Crawford. I do not see Terrence Crawford holding off Errol Spence the way he was able to hold off Jose Benavidez and then just turn it on and go forward and become the bully. I don't see him being able to do that against Errol Spence. I don't see him moving around the ring and pop shotting Errol Spence and Errol Spence not being able to catch up. Like I said, it'll be a nice boxing match here and there. It might be a 3-2 either way type fight. Then I say around round 8 or 9, I think Earl will get Terrence Crawford. So that is coming to an end. This is the Double RT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr.A. 3 for 3. There was a fourth guy, but I don't know if he got kicked out or had to leave it fast. But thank you for the 3 for 3. Again, we will be on at 6 a.m. The Double RT Boxing Show, kicking off the trifecta. Coming up next is the LDBC's Power Box. Started with True Boxing Talk with Black Fight Fan TV, featuring 78 Sports, followed by Fanon International. You go check that out. Come back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Help the 6 a.m. start it, because we already know the double block has their power. Help the trifecta get it going. See you tomorrow at 6 a.m. The Double RT Boxing Show. Your show. I'm the host. Thumbs up. Appreciate your time and support. See you guys.